It is Wednesday, February 26th. We're going to talk about how we can use tapping to transform our state. Welcome to Wednesdays with Gene, presented by the Tapping Mastery Academy. I am the eponymous Gene Monterastelli. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got folks checking in from California and New York and Slovakia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Feel free to say hi in the chat box as you join us today. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time talking about the difference between emotion, state, and identity. And then we're going to do a whole bunch of tapping. I'm going to show you a little 7-step process that I use to create and transform my state. And then I'm going to share with you a little resource that you can download so you can actually work your way through this in a more comprehensive way at a time and a place that makes the most sense for you. Before we jump in, as always, we like to take a minute and a half, do a little wordless tapping, put ourselves in our body, tap inside the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And all I want you to do for the next minute and a half is just move from tapping point to tapping point. And the Tapping Mastery Blueprint, this is approach number 1, content for your wordless tapping. And as you do this, again, just notice what's going on in your system. You don't need to do anything super, super complicated. Just stay present where you are. Nice big stretch. Oh, give it a little shake. Feel yourself in your body. Again, when in doubt, any moment during the day, things are not going exactly the way that you want, set a timer for 1 minute. Just tap along, feel your way back into your body. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about changing our state. Now, before we do this, it's always good for us to think about definitions. As always, the definitions that I'm about to share with you, these are not the definitions you need to agree with, but instead, as we engage with this, as we step into this particular process, I just want you to know where I'm coming from. And as we do this, I'm going to describe emotion, state, and identity as if they are 3 things. And they are, but more so, they are on a spectrum of moving from one to the other. So, our emotion, our feelings are our conscious and subconscious interpretation to what is going on in the moment. And a positive emotion is a positive response to what is going on. A negative emotion is a negative response to what is going on. So, for example, if you showed up at my place and you brought me fresh baked cookies, I could be, "Ooh, I love cookies. Thank you very much." Or I could be, "Oh, I just started a new eating plan. I'm not supposed to be eating refined sugar. Get behind me, Satan." So, the circumstance and the details were exactly the same. But my emotion, my feeling, was how I interpreted that particular emotion. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is identity. And identity is how we define ourselves, how we define our relationships, how we define the world. So there are things that are way, way, way more static than emotions, because emotions are about the interpretation of what is going on, where identity is how I see myself. And in many cases, it's how I see myself irregardless to what is going on. Because, for example, I see myself as competent. And when I am doing something and it's not working out, I might be frustrated because it's not working out, but I still see myself as competent. Now, we can change our identity over time in positive and negative ways. We change it in positive ways by clearing the limiting beliefs and stories we have about ourselves and the world. They can be changed in negative ways. I experience something traumatic, which then teaches me everything like that is bad. For a deeper dive into transforming identity, March's Art of Delivery monthly is actually on identity as part of the Tapping Mastery Academy. If you're interested in that, just drop me a note, support@tappingqna.com. I'll get you all the details on that. So, emotion, our response to what is going on. Identity is something that is significantly more permanent. So, state is kind of halfway between those two places. State is something that is a disposition and a response to what is going on, but it's not as permanent as identity and it's not as fluid as emotion. So, for example, the way I'd like to think about this is if we think about the ocean. So, the ocean has an identity. It is a giant body of water that moves in a particular way, that's located in a particular place, that has a certain level of salinity, has certain creatures living inside of it. So, that's its identity. The emotion is what is going on the surface. Storm rolls in, waves start going about. Storm rolls out, it becomes placid. Where the state is what is happening in the ocean, but it's happening at a very deep level. It's something that is more permanent. And so, as storms roil on the surface, the state deep down in the ocean, the temperature might go up and down a little bit, but it's something that is more permanent. And the state that we are in is going to affect our emotional response. If I am in a grounded state, when something doesn't go as planned, even though I see that as negative, instead of being angry, I'm being frustrated. And so when we're doing emotional first aid tapping, that is about putting myself back in my body and clearing the emotion in the moment. When I am clearing limiting beliefs and changing my identities, that's another approach to tapping. That's about my identity. So state is about how do we cultivate and land kind of like at our core that is going to help us to respond in the moment. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, again, a little 7-step process that we can use to tap along to this. I'm going to encourage you to tap along with me as we work our way through this. And then, like I said, at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can download a resource to go through all of these steps in much more depth so you can play with this in the future as you engage with that particular thing. So, let's zip on over to our slide deck. Where did my button go for my slides? There we go. There's my slides. Great. So, creating a new state, it's going to happen in 7 steps. Okay. So, step number 1 is we want to name the state that we want. Again, for those of you who are familiar with the Tapping Mastery Blueprint, question number 1 is what is the outcome of this particular round of tapping? Now, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of states that we could cultivate. So, here, oh, hold on a second here. Let's get on the right slide. There we go. Here is an entire collection, and this is an abridged version of this. Like I said, the handout that I'm going to give you here in a little bit, it has even more than this. This is 21 of them. I got a whole bunch in the handout. So the first thing we do is we name the state that we want to create. So what I want you to do in front of you right now, pen and paper, just jot down in front of you the state that you would like to cultivate. And so think about what is the disposition I would like to be working from again in that middle area this week. So as I look at my calendar as I was getting ready for all of this, I was seeing what I want to be for the rest of this week is I want to be really focused because I have lots of nitpicky details that need to get done that it's very easy for me to be distracted from. So I'm going to work on focused. Feel free to work on whatever state that you want to create. Feel free to drop that state into the chat box. So as we're working our way through this, we can kind of see what everybody's working on in that particular way. So after we have, oh, hold on just a second, wrong button there. There we go. After we have created, we've named the state that we want. The second thing we do is how do you feel about not having it? Meaning, how do you feel about the fact that you are currently not in that particular state that you want to be in? Again, for those of you who've done the Tapping Mastery Blueprint, this is the second question we always ask is, how do I feel about the circumstance? So, as I think about what I would like to be doing, I'm not as focused as I'd like. How do I feel about that? As I feel like I am a little bit at my wit's end around getting stuff done. There's a little bit of concern. So it's already 11 a.m. Eastern time here in the East Coast, and I have a lot I need to get done by the end of Friday. I'm going to be out of the office tomorrow. And so there's already a sense of how do I feel about not being that? I am concerned. So I can see folks are wanting to be productive and calm and focused and inspired and empowered and peace of mind. How do you feel right now? Because you are not in that particular state. Focus, compassion. I love that. So we're going to tap on that. So just move from point to point, repeating after me. And where I say focused, what I want you to do is I want you to insert in the state that you are wanting to be in. I recognize the fact that I would love to feel at a very core level focused this week. And so again, put in whatever the thing is that you want. And I recognize the fact in this particular moment, I am not in that state. And because I am not in that state, I am worried. And the reason why I'm worried is there's so much that needs to get done this week that I need to be focused. And since I'm not, I feel like I'm going to be wasting my time. And so now what I want you to do is as we move from point to point, I'm just going to tap silently, is I want you out loud to say 4 things that you feel about not being in this state. Because I'm not in this state, I feel. 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 Nice, easy breath. Now you might want to jot some of those things down so you can tap on them in the future because we're going to zip through these 7 steps pretty quickly today. And I would love to hear in the chat box, again, for those of you joining us live, what are some of the emotions that are coming up because you're not in the state that you want to be at this particular moment? And as you go and you jot stuff down, type in the box, I'm just going to keep tapping wordlessly. What do we got? We got frustrated. Yeah. Frustration is the emotion of not having a desire or a need met, not being in the state that we want. Makes sense that we would feel frustrated with that. Ooh, compassionate and focused towards myself. I love it. Frustrated and worried, anxious, panicked, fearful. Awesome. So you can see if I am feeling this emotion about what is going on, how it might be, I want to avoid that. Anytime there's a negative emotion, the easy and decided thing that we want to do is we want to disengage. Disappointed in myself. Great. Awesomeness. Jealous of the people who are in that state. Again, you can see how easy and how good it is for us to tap on this. So we're creeping into creating space for that. Awesomeness. Step number 3, what will this state give you? So for me, for focus, this is what it looked like. Tap along with me, do some borrowing benefits, and then we'll get you to tap on your own. I recognize the fact that if I am focused the rest of this week, I will be productive. I'll build the infrastructure I want to be building in my business. I'll feel a sense of accomplishment. I'll feel in control. And so again, we're going to do it 4 or 5 times. Just complete the sentence with the state you're trying to cultivate. Being in this state will give me. Being in this state will make it easier for me. Being in this state will be good because. Being in this state will benefit me. Call up a nice easy breath. Now, again, what I'd love you to do, jot down, put it in the chat box. What are the benefits you get from being in this new state? Naming them is going to be making it easier for us to claim them. Again, if you're not writing anything down or putting anything in the chat box, just keep tapping wordlessly. What do we got? We got freedom. What else will being in this state give you? Purpose. Yes, love some purpose. And again, if you're not writing anything down, if you're not putting anything in the chat box, just keep tapping. I'll be creative. Love that, Susie. Desired result, feeling lighter, empowered, prepared, relief, self acceptance, increased self and other compassion. Love all of those things. Very good. Nice, easy, deep breath. Step 4. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to state our openness to this new state. I am open to being in the state of focus. And again, put in whatever you're working towards. I am open to being in the state of focus. Even though I'm worried about trying to work to this place and not necessarily achieving it, I am open to being in the state of focus. I am open to being in the state of focus. I am open to being in the state of focus. Nice, easy breath. Now, as you did that, tail enders might have shown up. Again, a tail ender is something where the subconscious mind is saying, no, you can't have that. No, you're not allowed to have that. No, you won't because. Write those down so you can tap on those again in the future. They become super, super valuable as we work our way through all of this. Step 5, is it sawed? Is it safe? Is it allowed? Is it worthy? Am I deserving of having it? So what you're going to do is you're going to put the state in there and you're just going to complete these sentences while you are tapping. It is not safe for me to be, I'm going to say focused, you say whatever it is. It's not safe for me to be focused because, and then just pay attention to what comes up. This is what's coming up for me. It's not safe for me to be focused because I might miss something important. It's not safe for me to be focused because I will create unrealistic expectations. It's not safe for me to be focused because it will point out all the times that I'm not focused. So just complete the sentence. It's not safe for me to be in this new state because. It's not safe for me to be in this new state because. It's not safe for me to be in this new state because. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to do aloud. You could do safe, allowed, worthy, deserved, but for time, we're just going to do the first two. And again, I am not allowed to be I'm not allowed to be focused because. And again, insert whatever it is. I am not allowed to be focused because. I'm not allowed to be focused because. Now it's interesting. As I tune into that, there's no resistance to being allowed to be focused. But you might have them. So complete the sentences. I am not allowed to have this new state because. I am not allowed to have this new state because. I am not allowed to have this new state because. I am not allowed to have this new state because. Nice big deep breath. Again, jot down any tail enders or anything else that you need in that spot. Give me 1 second here. My head cold's getting the best of me. So jot down those tail enders. Sorry about that. Got a bit of a battle. Awesomeness. Great. So we're now going to move on to step number 6. I am saw it. So in this case, we're going to do all of them. When I say new state, you can put your state in there or you can just say new state. I'm allowed to have this new state. I am allowed to have this new state. I am allowed to have this new state. It is safe for me to experience this new state. It is safe for me to experience this new state. I am worthy of this new state. I am worthy of this new state. I am worthy of this new state. I deserve this new state. I deserve to experience this new state. Now I'm going to do it with my actual one so you can see what it's like when we do that. It is safe for me to be focused. I am allowed to be focused. I am worthy of being focused. I am deserved. I deserve to be focused. It is safe for me to be focused. I'm allowed to be focused. I am worthy of being focused. I deserve to be focused. Nice big deep breath. Again, pay attention to any of the tail enders that come up. It's not safe because I'll be unstoppable. The other things I always want to do won't get done. Others are capable of doing this for themselves. It's disrespectful to others to assume that they are incapable of doing this. I am worthy of this new state. Yes. So we go through that. Again, pay attention to the tail enders, jot those down. I know we're moving through this quick, but we got a resource for you. Number 7, tune it up. So this is an idea that I got from Rick Henson, who wrote Resilient, Buddha's Brain, absolutely brilliant man. And one of the things that Rick talks about is if we want to have those states and we want to access them more, what we want to do is we want to feel our way into them. And it's not just feel them, but tune them up. I always think about old tube televisions from the 70s and 80s where there would be a red and a yellow and a green little guy or whatever, red, blue, green. And you could take those and you could, because they were shooting red and blue and yellow light at the screen and it was making the image, what you could do is you could take those. It was red, blue, and green. That's what it was. And you could turn them up and it would turn into these crazy colors. And so what I like to do is I like to take the state and I like to feel it in my body. So take the state that you want. So I'm going to take focus and I'm going to feel what it's like to be focused. And I'm just going to feel that sensation in my body. And for me, there's a sense of grounding, there's a sense of power. And then what I'm going to do is I tap on the side of the hand is I'm just going to turn the volume up on that state. And just feel it really deeply. And once again, I'm going to tune back into the state. For me, it's being focused. I'm just going to not only feel it tuning up, I'm going to feel it imprinting on every single cell in my body. And one more time, just tune into the state and just tune it up. Feel it in every cell in your body. Oh, nice big deep breath. Big stretch. It really is that simple. Little by little, take a little time and name the state, name the fact that you don't feel. How do you feel about not being in that state? What will the state give you? I'm open to the new state. Tune in to see if it's sawed. State that it's sawed. Tune it up. So what I'd encourage you to do over the course of the next 4 or 5 days is to spend a little time, 10 or 15 minutes, just doing this and see yourself cultivating that state. Because the more we cultivate the state, the deeper the roots they are, the easier it is for it to be our floor that we're standing on. So that the more positive my state is, again, to go back to our spectrum, identity, state, emotion, the more grounded my state is, the easier it is for me to not have a negative emotional response in the moment because I'm more well resourced and I'm more in control. And the more time I spend in that state, the more it moves from a state to being my identity. I don't feel focused. I am someone who's focused. I don't feel grounded. I am grounded as we engage with that. Now, as you saw at the bottom of the little screen there, let's go over to our footnotes. If you go to tappingqa.com/state, you can sign up to receive a little workbook that I've put together covering all 7 of these steps with more examples, with more states, with more scripts, with everything else. It's super, super easy. It will be done this afternoon. I'm putting the finishing touches on and I want to make sure it's perfect and ready to go. But if you go to tappingqa.com/state, if you're watching this live, sign up. The moment it's done, you'll get an email letting you know that it is done and ready to go. If you're watching this after the fact, it is already there waiting for you. Other thing is, mark your calendar. Next week, what we're going to do at 11 a.m. Eastern Time is we're going to do a lot of tapping on creating peace, creating calm in our lives. We've done the topic before, but it's one of those things we need to come back to again and again. It's going to be less teaching than we had this week. It's just going to be lots of tapping, and then we're going to do some more tapping. It's really, really that simple. Again, all you need to do is where is the button? tappingqa.com/state, tappingqa.com/state. Enter your email address and I'll get you that guide. Again, if you're watching this live later today, if not, it's already there waiting for you. Thank you once again for spending some of your Wednesday morning or whenever you joined us after the fact. We are here every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Please join us. We got an awesome community. Again, how do you sign up? Just go to tappingqa.com/state, enter your email address, and you'll get everything from that particular point there. If you're watching this after the fact, on the screen right now, you can see a playlist of all of our live streams. I look forward to talking with you, tapping with you, and chatting with you again next Wednesday. Have an awesome day wherever you're in the world. Bye bye.